All right, well, Aliyah Boston, thank you so much for making the long trek to WTHR here downtown Indianapolis, going into year 3 for you here in the WNBA. Kind of crazy. Is that crazy?
It's kind of crazy to think how fast time is going. I was actually just saying that, like, I can't believe this is my 3rd year.
In her recent interview, Aliyah Boston delivered measured but meaningful praise for new head coach Stephanie White, emphasizing her clear communication and sharp in-game adjustments, traits that critics often said were missing under former Coach Christie sides. While she didn't call anyone out directly, Boston's comments served as a respectful nod to the past and a confident endorsement of the Fever's fresh leadership moving forward.
Like, okay, now we come out, we have to be ready to compete, but we also know that, listen, if things aren't going our way, then we have a coach at the helm who knows how to adjust.
Aliyah Boston looked back on her battles with Stephanie White's Connecticut Sun, remembering how White's in-game adjustments constantly disrupted opponents and left crowds in awe. Now that White is leading the Fever, Boston's excitement is undeniable. Her latest remarks point to this coaching change as a potential turning point, not only for her and Caitlin Clark, but for the entire Indiana squad. If you're hyped for what's ahead, drop an A, B, and CC in the comments. Let's go!
Well, how was the offseason for you? There's a lot going on with the team, a lot going on with the WNBA, women's sports in general. How was the offseason for you?
Offseason was great. I was able to participate in Unrivaled, so I was super excited about that. And kind of just looking at our team in general, all the changes we've made. It has been a lot. It's been super fast, but I think they've all just been super exciting moves for us. And I'm excited to get the season started because I think we have so much talent.
Aliyah Boston's face lit up the moment the conversation turned to the Fever's off-season moves. This wasn't just contentment, it was genuine excitement. Her voice, her expression, her energy, it all reflected a deep belief that the front office had pulled off something meaningful. After a challenging season, that kind of emotion stood out, signaling just how optimistic she is about what's coming next.
Yeah, you mentioned it right there. It felt like there was 1 week, maybe a month, maybe more ago, that it was just like bang, bang, bang. Someone else new coming to the team via trade, via free agency. All really valuable pieces. Winning experience with those additions as well. What do you make of the newcomers on this team and how everyone will gel together after such a promising year last year for you guys?
When asked about the Fever's new additions, Aliyah Boston didn't hold back. She spoke openly about how the arrival of seasoned veterans has transformed the identity of a once youthful, developing roster that relied heavily on rising stars, like Caitlin Clark. Now, with proven winners in the mix, the pressure no longer rests entirely on the younger players. For Boston, who comes from South Carolina's championship pedigree, that kind of veteran support, alongside teammates like Lexi Hull and Kelsey Mitchell, is exactly what this team has been missing.
I think when you look at who we've brought in and who is still here, I think what really helps us and excites us the most is that we win. We win a lot. Coming from winning programs just in general and being able to put this together, I think it's going to be super exciting. Like every time we get on the court and we're practicing or if we're playing pickup, we're like, I can't wait to get the season started. Like we are going to just play so well.
What stood out most was the clear shift in Aliyah Boston's tone. Last season, her focus was on the team's potential, speaking in hopeful terms about one day contending for a championship. Now, she's speaking with certainty and conviction. The language of hope has been replaced by the language of expectation. She's not wondering if the Fever will win. She fully expects it. That marks a major mentality shift for a team that spent years building toward this very moment.
Being able to have so many different options on the floor, anyone coming off the bench, just being ready to be that heavy hitter and make an impact.
Yeah, deep team, right?
Yes.
Too, it feels like no lineup, there's no drop off.
Boston pointed to the upgraded roster's offensive versatility, noting, "There are so many different options on the floor." Her excitement was unmistakable, and rightfully so. Last season, when defenses keyed in on Clark, Boston, or Mitchell, the Fever struggled to generate consistent offense. They often looked predictable and thin on scoring threats. With the new veteran additions, though, That one-dimensional look appears to be a thing of the past.
How excited are you for the Fever just this season and as far as your team is concerned, but just to carry that momentum forward as people continue to realize how high level women's basketball is, women's sports are, and just the excitement around this season and the WNBA in general?
What stood out most in Boston's interview was her use of the word dominant to describe the Fever's potential, a word she never uttered last season, even during their playoff run. That one choice signals a dramatic shift in mentality. This team isn't just here to compete. They're here to take control and win consistently. Boston made it clear. The phase of focusing on development is done. The mission now is winning. Period. It's a telling sign of her evolution as a leader. She's moved beyond celebrating progress and is now demanding results from herself and her teammates.
Yeah, we're gonna ride the momentum. We're gonna ride the wave. I think there's no way you don't. You know, there's so much eyes, there's so much energy, there's so much attention. It's like every time you step on that floor, you want to play your best because you know there's so many people watching. And it's not just for you. It's for the little kids that continue to dream of being where you are and be like, oh my gosh, they're my favorite players. And the fans that continue to watch, it's like you want to continue to show them, like, listen, we come out here, we compete not just for ourselves, but for you guys because you guys pour so much attention, so much love on this Fever squad. And so we just have to be ready to compete every single night.
The most telling moment in Boston's interview came when she described the Fever's potential as dominant. It's a word she never used last year, not even during their postseason run. And it marks a significant shift in mindset. This team isn't just looking to compete anymore. They're preparing to take control and win consistently. Boston emphasized that the time for talking about development is over. The new focus is on results. It's a clear sign of her evolution. As a leader, she's no longer content with growth alone, but is now demanding excellence from herself and everyone around her.
Also, part of the newness of this season, and it feels like it's kind of hitting a crescendo, right, as we are only a month away, but head coach Stephanie White, new to town, not really new to town, new maybe for you, but what has that relationship been like in kind of the Stephanie White regime here going forward?
What makes Boston's perspective so powerful is her first-hand experience playing against Stephanie White's Connecticut Sun teams. She's well aware of the challenges White presents. When Boston discusses her new coach, there's a clear shift in her tone. It's not just admiration, it's genuine excitement, a stark contrast to how she spoke about coaching last season.
It's been great. I think Steph has just done a great job ever since she got the job of just communicating. I remember within the first few weeks that she had the job, we were watching film about how she wanted me to be able to play, what she thinks of the team, what she wants our goal to be once the season starts, where we want to end. And I think for me that's super important because even though it feels like I've been in the league for quite some time, you know, this is only my third year, and being able to learn from a coach that you've been able to see, especially being able to play against her and seeing the way that she coaches, the way that she makes adjustments, is super exciting for me.
Boston consistently praised White's communication skills, and it was clear why. We have a coach at the helm who knows how to adjust, right? She said, with evident enthusiasm. Her remarks weren't just compliments. They addressed one of the major criticisms from last season under Christy Sides. Fans and analysts often pointed to the team's confusion during timeouts and late-game situations. By emphasizing White's communication strengths, Boston made it clear those issues are likely behind them.
Talked about going against her in the probably most important series of your career,
Yep.
right, in the first round last season. What did you take away from going up against her? That maybe you're like, oh great, she's on my side now and we can use this to our advantage.
Yeah, when we played against Connecticut, Steph, her adjustments, the way she started off the game, I remember there were times where we were playing and I was like, did they mean to do this? And then you come back again the second possession and they really did mean to do that. And it's something that we didn't think about, and coming in, it's like, okay, well, now we have to adjust.
Boston recalled with clarity how facing White's Connecticut Sun teams left a lasting impression, especially with White's ability to make in-game adjustments that consistently troubled the Fever. This is basketball player code, Boston said, acknowledging that Indiana was often outcoached in those matchups. She highlighted White's knack for starting games with fresh tactics and innovative strategies, underlining just how much that kind of coaching will benefit the Fever now that White is at the helm in Indiana.
When for her, it's like, we've already played you guys 3-4 times, now we're going to playoffs, and they still bring something new to the table. So to be on that side, it's super exciting because I think, once again, we have so much talent on our squad. We're going to be going up against all these teams that in the offseason also made adjustments, also have just great, talented, flat-out hoopers. So it's like, okay, now we come out, we have to be ready to compete, but we also know that, listen, if things aren't going our way, then we have a coach at the helm who knows how to adjust.